The problem isn't that we don't have choices, it's that we have too many. Does that sound familiar? Does that resonate with you? And the problem with having too many choices is that along the way, many of us start believing that a successful life is when we manage to live every possible version of ourselves.
You're listening to the Akinfemi Onadele Show, where we believe in today's fast-paced world, investing in your overall well-being is the most important decision you can make. Join us alongside a variety of guests as we discuss topics empowering you to become the best version of yourself. Enjoy.
Let's be real for a second. We're living in peculiar times. Between rising inflation and the pressure to perform, it's so easy to let anxiety take the driver's seat. I know the feeling. When you're carrying every goal, every worry, and every to-do only in your head. But here's the truth. Even when you feel like you've messed up, it is not the end of the world. That is exactly why I created the LDP bracelet. It's more than inspiration jewelry. It's a tool to center yourself. It's a stylish reminder that stays on you and with you at all times, moving the commitment to learning, doing, and progressing from just a thought in your mind to a physical weight on your wrist. We only have 28 pieces available in this limited run. If you need a physical anchor to keep you pushing through these times, go to the link in the show notes right below. Stop carrying it all in your head. Start wearing your progress.
Last week, we discovered something that surprised a lot of us. We may already be richer than we think. Not because our bank account suddenly changed, but because many of us already possess forms of wealth we've stopped measuring. Whether it's our faith, family, purpose, whether it's with our friends, whether it's our time. And if that's true, why is it that so many of us still feel so anxious, still feel so constantly behind? I know that definitely resonates with me. Why do we end up on so many days feeling like we still need to achieve more, like we still didn't do enough? Well, the past week, I reflected on that question a lot. And this is what I stumbled upon. Maybe the problem isn't that we don't have enough time. Maybe that's not the problem at all. Maybe the problem is that we're still trying to fit too many things into this life that we have. Well, I want to live so many lives in one lifetime. We want to read every book. We want to build every business. We want to travel everywhere. We want to become everything. Social media doesn't even lend us any favors with that one. By the time you scroll on that feed, this person is doing this, doing that. You want to become everything. You want to keep every opportunity alive. I know a lot about that. And somehow, still, perfect relationships, perfect health, perfect finances, and perfect peace. We want all of that somehow. No wonder we're all exhausted. Today's conversation changed the way I think about time. Not because it gave me another productivity hack, but because it helped me stop fighting a battle that I clearly can never win. Today we're going to lose the war against time so that we can finally win the war for our lives. I love that. I love that so much. Before we go any further, let's listen to this passage carefully. When I first read it, I stopped for a moment. It describes something I clearly have been feeling for a very long time, years, decades, but never had the words to articulate it. So I asked my wife, Senami, aka the wifey for life, to read it for us. Just listen.
I continue to dwell on the simple truth illustrated so well by the figs on the tree. Time is limited, but desire is limitless. These facts will always be in conflict. Simply put, there was more that I wanted to do than I'd ever be able to do. Facing this simple truth was the first step to making peace with my inability to do everything. Paradoxically, when you give up the fight, you gain something more valuable: the chance to make a difference in something you can influence. Your defeat in the war against time opens up all sorts of other possibilities. By losing this war, You gain the ability to be much happier and also more effective in the rest of your life. Stop believing you can boss time around. Instead, accept the relief of giving up control. Life is short and your time is valuable. Respecting the limits of both can be liberating.
Powerful, isn't it? For me, the words of Chris in his book Time Anxiety, especially that excerpt, is one of the clearest descriptions of modern life I've ever heard. The problem isn't that we don't have choices, it's that we have too many. Does that sound familiar? Does that resonate with you? And the problem with having too many choices is that along the way, many of us start believing that a successful life is when we manage to live every possible version of ourselves. The version where we build the business, where we write the book. Sounds like I'm talking to myself. Where we travel the world, where we become financially free, become amazing parents, stay in incredible shape, read every great book, guilty, learn new skills, serve in church, build deep friendships, rest well. Somehow squeezing all that into one lifetime. Is that any wonder why we are all anxious? And this made me realize something about myself as I read the book Time Anxiety. Over the last few years, I wanted to build TAOS. I wanted to grow professionally. I wanted to be an intentional husband, a great father who's fully present. I wanted to deepen my investment in my health, or go deeper in my relationship with God, read more books, spend more time with family, travel more, create more products and services that genuinely help people. Now, none of these desires are wrong. In fact, they're all beautiful desires. The problem is not the ambition I have. The problem is when I believe that I could pursue all of them with equal intensity, all at the same time. And that's the expectation that will affect my productivity. And that, of course, will lead to serious anxiety, time anxiety. So let's talk about radical acceptance. Because one of the biggest shifts I've experienced is learning that time is not my employee. I repeat, time isn't my employee. I can't negotiate with it. I can't squeeze more hours out of the day. Time doesn't respond to pressure. It simply keeps moving. And that's what the idea of this radical acceptance can change not just my life but yours. Pain is unavoidable. We all have limits. But suffering often comes from resisting those limits. So here's an equation for it. Pain plus resistance equals suffering. Time is limited. Resisting that truth creates anxiety, while accepting it creates freedom. So let's talk about soul alignment, because this is also key to how I think about my faith now and going forward. Because one of the hardest lessons I've had to learn is that God really asks us to do everything. As a matter of fact, He can do it without us even getting involved. He asks us to be faithful, no doubt. Be faithful with what He has entrusted to us. So it means soul alignment isn't doing more. It's doing the right things in the right season. And that's why Habakkuk says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. Not every opportunity is meant for today. Not every good idea is your assignment. Some things actually belong to another season. Another wonderful idea is the second arrow. Wonderful idea from the book Time Anxiety by Chris Billieu. And the second arrow, so imagine someone shoots an arrow. The first arrow is life. It could be a disappointment or a missed opportunity, a birthday that reminds you that you're getting older. Of course, that sounds really painful. That feels painful. But then comes the second arrow. I should have achieved more by now. I'm behind. Everyone else is ahead of me. That second arrow is the one we often fire at ourselves. And strangely, it's way more painful than the first one. The goal isn't to avoid life's arrows, it's to stop shooting the second one. If you are just tuning into the time wealth arc of the season, it will be good to go to the previous episode, go back to the previous episode and listen to the 15 pieces story. Because that story reminds me of one of my favorite stories from Silas Bloom's book, Time Wealth. And he was just talking about conversation with his friend that made him review his time that made him realize that his parents were at their mid-60s. Him seeing them only once a year meant that he would only see them maybe about 50 more times before they passed on. That changed everything. So please check that out. So it's time for us to bring it all home. I think that's why this episode matters. We're not trying to become obsessed with death, no, far from it. We're trying to become more intentional about our lives. And if we accept that we cannot do everything, then we are finally free to ask a much better question. And that question is, deserves this season of my life? Because every yes is also 100 invisible no's. And that's okay, because that's what makes our choices meaningful. So on today's episode, we will be talking about what we eat, featuring Senami, who had this massive success in her physical wealth. Do enjoy.
Hey Sena, thanks for doing this. Welcome to What We Eat.
Hi guys. I'm so surprised that I can actually be at this segment because I've struggled to lose weight for like a freaking long time. I went people are saying things like this, I'm like, I cannot relate. But yay, here I am. And guess what? I realized that on my vision board that I've had for over 10, 15 years, there's a particular cutout that I pasted that said lose 10 kg in 4 weeks. And guess what? I just lost 10 kg. Isn't that amazing?
That's actually amazing. I was actually surprised that you had a vision board for 10, 15 years.
Yeah, I had.
A visionary.
And the good thing is that some things on the vision board have actually been removed because I've achieved them. So yeah, I'll keep looking at the vision board.
Okay. What were you believing about yourself before this change?
I believed that one day I was going to lose weight no matter what. I just did not know when and how, but I also had like the figure I wanted to look like on my vision board. So I just kept believing that don't worry, it will come to pass. And even in my affirmations, my morning affirmations, I used to listen to it. So I lose 3 to 5 kg a week. Like I used to listen to it like every morning. So I didn't know how it was gonna happen, but I knew it was gonna eventually happen. So that was the image I had of myself. I always saw myself losing weight.
So how many give the audience the sense of how much kg you lost?
I've lost like 10 kg in about 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
What did you get wrong before you got it right?
Oh, that's a very crucial question. I think the first thing I got wrong was not checking what the problem, the root cause was. Because I had my baby about 3 years ago. And since then, I've been struggling to lose weight, right? So I think the biggest mistake I made was not checking what the root cause was. That why am I not losing weight? Why am I eating once a day? I'm practically not eating, calorie deficit, drinking all the drinkables, making all the natural things, eating seeds, and different things. But I wasn't losing weight, right? I was living like a healthy life, eating healthy, eating fiber, not drinking sodas, but I wasn't losing weight. Sure, I was adding weight. For a very long time, I was on my 96 kg for like 3 years.
How did that make you feel?
I felt horrible, but I still believed in me that I was going to lose weight. And week on week, I keep ensuring that, I'm deliberate about what I eat. I get in a lot of protein, vegetables, little carbs. Well, carbs is not the enemy, actually. You just need to check your calories while you're eating all these things.
What would you tell someone who feels like they've tried everything and nothing's worked?
I think the first thing is for you to attack the underlying issue. Go and do a checkup, a comprehensive checkup. Mine was diabetes. I knew a lady that had gallbladder issues, and that was why she wasn't losing weight. And it was after that I knew that your gallbladder actually has a very important part with you losing weight. I could have never imagined. In short, is it gallbladder or I think they say it's in the neck or something. I'm not sure. You guys can read up on it. So just make sure you check your health before you start any journey, because there might be issues that you don't even know. We're just copying Miss A. See, we are women. Woman A can have a very different system from woman B. In short, you can have 26 different systems of women, and we're all trying to do the same thing. I think that's really wrong. I think you should find your peculiar system. Look at what works for you. What is your cortisol level? What's your insulin level? hope you don't have any issues. Check all those things before you start a diet. And by the way, I had even seen a dietitian before, and she was able to explain to me that some people actually need more carbs than protein and vegetable, and some people need more protein than vegetable. You need to go and check what works for your body, what is peculiar to you before you start your weight loss trip.
This was amazing, simply inspiring. In the spirit of time wealth, how your relationship with time
Change once your body changed.
Well, I think I became more productive in not just work, but even, having clarity of what I wanted. And I was able to say, you know what, I think I'm tired of 9 to 5. And that's not because of anything. I just realized that, oh my God, when you put your mind to something and you achieve it means that every other thing you've been afraid of can actually be achieved. So I just told myself, you know what, I won't be wasting my time on this because that's what status quo says I should do. I'll be putting my time into this because that is what I cherish the most. And I'm going to be traveling a whole lot now. I'm going to be touring the world a whole lot. Whether I have the money or not, I will be traveling a whole lot because that's what I love. And if I could achieve this, it means I can achieve that.
And if she can achieve it, so can we. Thank you so much. That was just nothing short. Thank you too.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and we're back. Super proud of everything Senna was able to achieve this season of her life with her time wealth. It was really amazing and inspiring to see how she just unlocked a newer and better version of herself. And that's it, it's about intentionality, because when you think about it, of course, she had to make trade-offs. So it really supports what we've spoken about today. Okay, guys, my dear everyday heroes, I have a challenge for you, a TAOS challenge for you. So before we close, here's this week's TAOS challenge. It's something called mortality math. Simple exercise that's designed to help you see time differently. It helps us look at time not through fear but through gratitude and intentionality. So I've recorded a short walkthrough showing you exactly how to do it rather than trying to explain the entire exercise. Head over to our Instagram page and check out that video. I genuinely believe it will change the way you look at your calendar. As you walk through it, ask yourself one question: does the way I spend my time reflect what matters most to me? Does the way I spend my time reflect what matters most to me? About making sure the people and the purpose and priorities that matter most have a place in your life. And I know if you've been through these challenges, that will resonate with you. Beyond all these words, when you complete the exercise, I'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment, us a message, or tag us on IG and let us know one thing this exercise made you realize. Let's hear from one another. So that's this week's TAOS challenge. Engage with the challenge, guys. Don't just listen to the episode, live it. Okay, guys, thank you for tuning in. If today's episode encouraged you, 1, share the Time Wealth series with someone. If anyone came to your mind while you're listening, share this episode with them. You never know how a conversation can change someone's perspective for the better. Secondly, follow and subscribe if you haven't already on Spotify and YouTube, and it helps us to reach more people. It could also help if you leave a 5-star rating. That would be great. Finally, love to hear from you. Join the conversation on IG and let me know what deserves more of your time in this season of your life. I read comments, I read your messages, and many of the reflections shape future episodes. So thank you for being a part of the journey. And that's what we'll leave you for today. Thank you for spending part of your day with me. Time is one of the most precious gifts that we have, and I never take it for granted. As a matter of fact, it's my top value. So thank you for choosing to spend some of your time with me. It truly means the world to me. And if there's one thing I'd love you to remember from today's convo, you don't have to do everything to live a meaningful life. You do not have to do everything to live a meaningful life. You do not have to do everything to live a meaningful life. You don't have to chase every opportunity to become successful. You do not have to compare your timeline with everybody else's that you're making progress. The goal isn't to fit more into life. Maybe the goal isn't to fit more into life. Maybe the game is to become more intentional with the life you've already been given. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. Maybe you're not behind, maybe you're simply learning what deserves your time. And perhaps everyday hero has one of the greatest forms of wealth you ever discover. Until next time, keep learning, keep doing, keep progressing. My name is Akinfemi Onadele, and this is the Akinfemi Onadele Show. TAOS. As always, peace for thy future's presence.
Thanks for listening to the Akinfemi Onadele Show. Check out www.akinfemionadele.com for more info, articles, and ideas about how to boost your well-being.